Good day, everyone. I am Christine K.M. Casaul. Today, I have Mr. Ferdinand L. Francisco, Mr. Kenneth Christian G. Garajo, Mr. Kit Cedric G. Garajo, and Mr. Rodel B. Santos. We are the Casafrajos. Our study is called The Assessment on the Effects of COVID-19 Pandemic in the Construction Industry in the City of Balanga.
Today we will discuss chapters 1 and 2 of our study. To discuss the background of the study, let's hear it from Ms. Casaul.
All of us is a living witness in this global pandemic brought by COVID-19. According to the study, this infectious disease is identified in Wuhan's Wunan Seafood Wholesale Market located in Wuhan City, Hubei Province in China. The virus continued to spread around the country and later spread across the world. Sadly, the Philippines is one of the infected countries. As the World Health Organization recognized as WHO declared the COVID-19 as a global pandemic, most of the infected countries mandated a total lockdown. This includes our country, the Philippines. Unfortunately, Bataan also became one of the infected provinces in our country. Due to lockdown, different sectors and industry in our provinces in Bataan have been affected. Our study focuses on the impact of the construction industry in the city of Balanga, Bataan during the COVID-19 pandemic. In this study, you will know how the construction industry in Balanga City faced the challenges amidst COVID-19 global pandemic. To make this study possible, there will be an online surveys, virtual interview, and from different sectors, companies, and peoples involved in this study. Through this method, we are able to gather and analyze all the possible factors and information needed in this study. To discuss the problems of the study, let's hear it from Mr. Kenneth Christian Garajo.
Thank you. Thank you, Ms. Casaul. The lockdown enforced by the government has resulted in either closure or restriction of operations in businesses across different sectors. This includes the construction industry, which employs millions of people around the country and is a significant driver of the economy. With the emergence of the pandemic, the industry had seen interruption of operations, cancellations of projects, laying off of workers, and slowed construction demand. From clients, workers, suppliers, construction firms, every member of the construction industry has been affected in various ways, dealing a major blow to the economy. To share the objectives of the study, let's hear it from Mr. Rodel Santos.
Thank you, Kenneth Christian Graho. The general objective of this study is to determine the impact of the COVID-19 pandemic in the construction industry in the city of Balanga. Specifically, it aims to identify and analyze the factor and the virus change in the construction industry during the pandemic. Also to compare and to contrast the status of construction industry before and onset of the pandemic. Lastly, to assess the effect of the pandemic in the economic growth of the construction industry. For the significance of the study, let's hear from Mr. Ferdinand Francisco.
Thank you, Mr. Rodel Santos. On the other hand, we plan that the findings of the study will give sufficient information about the effects of COVID-19 pandemic in construction industry in Balanga City, Bataan. This study can help future construction companies to be fully prepared in case this pandemic arises again. The study will help by giving them information about what changes and adjustments done by construction companies during the pandemic. These changes and adjustments will serve as a tool if pandemic hits again the construction industry. Also, this study will help labor force by giving them the procedures, changes, and adjustments that companies implementing in a job site during the COVID-19 pandemic. After conducting this study, all gathered data will be useful to future researchers that would attempt to research the effects of COVID-19 pandemic in construction industry or any similar research. To discuss about the conceptual framework, let's hear it from Mr. Keith Cedric Grau.
Thank you, Mr. Ferdinand Francisco. Our goal is to identify the effects of the COVID-19 pandemic in the construction industry. To make that happen, there will be virtual interviews and online surveys. The respondees come from three areas. First are the engineers, contractors, and construction workers from construction companies. Second is the selected experts from or heads from construction sectors. And lastly are the hardware personnel from the suppliers. Through this, we are able to gather necessary data to analyze and come up with an overview of the status of the industry during the COVID-19 pandemic. For Chapter 2, we have again Ms. Christine K. Casaul.
Thank you so much, Mr. Kit Cedric Graho. As the table shown, which shows three related literature in this study. First is the impact of the pandemic crisis on the survival of construction industry, a case of COVID-19. The objective is to investigate the effects of COVID-19 in the construction industry's survival, which is similar in the objectives of our study, wherein we aim to investigate and assess all the effects in the construction industry in the city of Balanga due to COVID-19. Next related literature is the COVID-19 delay on the construction project in Kuwait. The objective is to investigate all the delayed construction projects during the pandemic in the country of Kuwait. In our study, we aim to investigate and assess all the delays and projects in the city of Balanga. And lastly, the effects of COVID-19 on the commercial construction industry in California. The objective in this study is to inform the future and the current industry members, as well as the educators, to the changes that has been made by the construction industries in the country of California. In our study, we aim to analyze and collect all the various changes of each member in the construction industry in the city of Balanga. For the research gap, compared to other studies, our study is a wide research, wherein it focuses on the status of the construction industry in the city of Balanga. Here, we will tackle the changes and the adjustments and the economic factor and the status of the suppliers in the construction industry, whereas other related literature only focuses on one subject. And lastly, this study focuses in the city of Balanga, Bataan, wherein the province of the Philippines. One of the province of the Philippines, whereas the given related literature focuses on different countries. And that's the end of our report. Thank you for listening.